The first thing I need to do if I want to edit an image is to make sure I've got the image selected. So to start off with, I click on the image once and it puts a blue box around it to show that I've selected the image and I'm ready to go. The most obvious thing I need to do is to move it around. Now, at the moment, I've inserted it in the middle of a sentence, so I've got my sentence split by this image, and I don't like that. So I want to move it up to the top, underneath Iron Man before the first words. So to do that, all I have to do is click on it, hold the mouse button down, and then drag it up, and I'll see a cursor icon. It's a bit blunt compared to desktop publishing, but you can get a picture into the right place reasonably quickly. One other thing worth looking at while I've got it selected is they've got the tabs on the side, little squares. I can use these to adjust the size of it. Now, the squares in the middle of the edges, on the sides and on the top, adjust and resize the picture. However, as I do that, dragging that one in there, I've kept the height of the picture the same, I've adjusted the width, so the picture has become a bit distorted. It's exactly the same if I drag down from the top. If I use the top handle there and drag down, the picture will become distorted because I'm keeping the width the same, but I'm adjusting the height. If I use the ones at the corner, the picture stays in proportion all the way through, which is a lot more useful. A couple of little tools along the top here. Notice when I clicked on it, I'll just click off it for a second. I've got my usual word processing formatting tools. When I click on a picture, the menu changes, it's adaptive, and I can add a border to it. I can adjust the border weight, how thick a line it is. I can make it a dotty line or a straight line. I can also crop an image, which is where I chop bits of it off. So you can see I've got these little darker black handles next to the tabs. By dragging in from one of those, I can cut off bits of the image I don't want. I quite like that image as it is. I'm not happy about the spotty border, so I'm going to change that back to this one. While I've got it selected, I've also got image options appears as a button here. When I click on that one, it opened up a side menu. Now it's got size and rotation, text wrapping, position, recolor adjustments. The ones I'm interested in at the moment is size and rotation. This does exactly what I've been doing, apart from with a slight twist. Rather than stretching it to the size I want, I can define how big I want the image to be. So rather than saying 15.9 or big enough to fit in there, I could say I want it to be exactly 14 centimeters wide. Now it adjusts automatically because I've got lock aspect ratio selected. So this is the equivalent of dragging from the corners. If it's 14 centimeters wide, it must be 7.8 centimeters high. If I took that off, I can make it fit an exact size. So I can make it 14 by 9, but that would distort the picture, a bit like dragging from the edges. So make it 14 by 9, slight distortion in there. You can also do it via percentages. Second option down is text wrapping. We'll look at that one in a second, but for now I'm just going to look at recoloring, which is a little bit like putting a filter on. You can just slightly adjust the picture and put a different colour tone into it, make it a bit red, make it a bit green. Whatever you want to do. Again, anything you don't like, you can just undo and take it back. It's quite effective like that. I'm going to go back to my original picture. So that's my image at the top. My second image is a smaller one, which is a really good example for text wrapping. Notice because I've still got this menu open at the side. Text wrapping's also got a little shortcut underneath, and the icons show really nicely what happens. As it stands, if I drag this into the middle of text, it's called inline with text. I'm going to put it between Kirby and the. It sort of forces itself a space. It doesn't cover any words up, but it sort of pushes its way in. I mean, I can fiddle with margin sizes for it if I really want to, but it's there, it's taking up space, it's not covering up words, but it's not particularly attractive. By putting wrap text, I can make the text wrap around it a lot tighter. Now, as I move it around now, it's quite effective, it's quite adaptive. I can adjust the margin so I can make it smaller so the text comes closer. It's kind of like a newspaper style going on there. That works very effectively if you've got little pictures dotted in and around. Break text, it does the opposite and it puts a complete gap in. There's a gap there alongside. This would be really useful if you have a picture between paragraphs or you have a line of pictures you want to put together. For me, for this one, I want to wrap text there and I'm going to shrink this one down a little bit. This particular image, if I really wanted to be fussy, I could use some software to remove the background on it, which we'll look at later on. But as it stands, I'm quite happy with it like that. I think I've got an image that I'm happy with. Margin looks about right. I'm happy with that. So I'll click off it. Again, all these images control buttons can be accessed by pressing on the image first and going into these menus here. Opens up the side menu. The other option as well always is to right click on them. You see you've got all the usual, you've got crop, replace, reset, image options, which opens up the side menu, which all are very effective ways. You can comment on an image as well, just like we looked at with commenting, and you can assign comments as well. link to Google Keep. Of course, if you've found something on Google Keep that you want, just open it up in your sidebar and you can drag it across. Same for if you found an image on here and you really like it, you can save on Keep. It makes it really easy to use the same image in another document later down the road without having to go and find it again. That is how to format images in Google Docs.